Hey guys, welcome to the Dad Shoes Podcast, the dad group you don't have to go to.
Hey, Connor, on 3.
Yeah?
What's your favorite song from Encanto?
Ooh, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
You
The
don't talk
final
about
song.
Bruno. The final song? Do you know which one's that? The
final song.
What's it called?
The credits. It's called, I had to look it up because I didn't know what it was, and then I looked it up and I forgot to say it. Colombia Mi Encanto.
Oh, okay, so like the theme thing, not like
Like the end credit song.
okay. That's like just the movie theme song. None of those other songs like connected with you?
That is the best song.
Oh my
Don't get me
gosh.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. We Don't Talk About Bruno is an earworm.
It is so good.
All right. You want a better answer? My favorite song from Encanto is I'm Not Throwing Away My Shot from Hamilton.
No.
Because the whole movie, I didn't know anything about it. All of a sudden it popped up on Disney Plus like, hey, look at this new movie we got.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about it.
We went to theaters
The
first.
the first song, I thought, wow, they're really leaning on Hamilton here. And it was 3 songs in before I decided, no, this definitely was these songs were all written by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, well,
I
I mean,
knew
they
it.
definitely were.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was affiliated with him at all, and I, was kind of hoping it wasn't. And then, nope,
No,
it's a
how did you
Lin-Manuel
not?
Miranda
No,
movie.
we've been listening to Encanto songs in my house for months. I feel.
I'd never heard of it.
I think we first saw the previews, but then we started getting into the songs on YouTube. And what was really annoying is like they hadn't actually posted the songs on YouTube like Disney hadn't. So we had these like third party ones where it would be like half the song and then it would just cut to like a preview of the movie.
Why were you listening to that? That doesn't sound fun.
Because it's all we had. It's all we had and our kids loved them.
How did you get that? How could they have loved it if they didn't know about it? How did you find out?
I don't know where we first heard about it. We must have just seen like, I don't know, I'm on YouTube a lot. And I think I must have just seen a preview come up because it's like, hey, you like Disney stuff. So, here's a preview for this Disney movie that's coming out. So we saw the preview a while. We were like, our kids were listening to the music a lot, even before the movie came out. And then when the movie came to theaters, we were like, well, we're not taking our kids to the theaters because that sounds like a nightmare. There's a whole episode of Bluey about that I really cannot.
Oh my God. Tell me about it. I just keep watching that movie like, I'd leave.
Yeah.
I'd leave. I'd leave. I'd leave. I'd apologize to everyone in that theater because nobody in that movie, in that episode, nobody in that theater gives a crap.
Yeah.
None of them care.
I know. That's ridiculous.
So
we're not bringing our kids to the movie theaters for a while. And it finally came to Disney Plus, which is great, on New Year's Eve. No, not New Year's Eve. Not New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve?
Christmas
That's
Eve.
what I thought.
Because my kids watched it in the car on the way to our family for Christmas Eve.
Right.
And then my wife watched it on a tablet because she couldn't wait to watch it with the whole family.
That's weird. I didn't like it. I love the movie. The movie it's a great story. Because, spoiler alert.
It's on Disney Plus. It's been out for longer than a week. I feel like it's okay to...
And it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
It's not, there's nothing to spoil about it. I'm not going to give away the reveal, but it's like, Abuela doesn't have a gift. She doesn't have any magical powers. And neither does Mirabel.
Yeah.
And except that their magical powers are like being the rock.
Yeah.
They're the anchor for the family. I think that's a great tale. Like, not everybody has magical powers. Not everybody's super special, but everybody has a purpose and value. And I mean, I love the story. It's great. I couldn't get past Hamilton.
Yeah.
It just sounded like Hamilton.
Well, and to me, when I first heard it, like, I loved it. And I honestly, the first couple times, I did not hear Hamilton in it. And usually,
wow.
When I watch Moana and I hear those songs, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like Lin's style. Like, this is his shtick. Like, I hear it a lot in Moana. When I first watched Encanto and first started listening to those songs, it's like, oh, this is so new. And I love that part in We Don't Talk About Bruno when they all start singing their verse like over top each other.
Yeah.
And now that
that's totally
from Hamilton.
Yeah.
There's
There's even spots when I can't remember her name, but the strong sister, when she's talking.
I knew it into
She's
Louisa.
doing her bit. Louisa, when she's doing her bit, she even talks about throwing away her shot.
In her song.
Like, I'm not going to throw away my shot. And she says it exactly like it's written in Hamilton. And I mean, though it sounds like Hamilton. Like this guy found a style that worked. It worked great, but then they just changed some words. Yeah.
He's got a formula.
Look, it's funny because the other day, a little bit of current event stuff, you were sick. Completely unrelated. My mom came down with COVID. She got like kind of sick. She had a little bit of a head cold for a day. Mm-hmm. The day I was with her, she she dropped me off. She gets home and calls me and says, "Hey, I just came down with this like head cold. I'm going to test for COVID in the morning." And I'd been with her like all afternoon. Mm-hmm. So, long story short, she's positive. I had to quarantine for 5 days.
You had some time.
I was out of work. I'd already been off work for a week and a half, and then I had to take another 3 days off work. And I've taken 3 tests. They're all negative. Mm-hmm. No symptoms whatsoever. But so one of these days that I'm sitting at the house, I've locked myself in my room. I watched both seasons of The Witcher. Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like I get up to go use the restroom, and I hear like the opening bars for Hamilton coming from the living room, and I pop my head out, and I'm like, "Why'd you put this on?" And my wife says, "I don't know. It sounded like a good idea at the time," and it was great. We were jamming out to it in separate rooms. I almost didn't put The Witcher back on because I was listening to Hamilton. You know, it's a great show.
When Hamilton came to Disney Plus, I thought we were going to watch it a lot more. We've only seen it once. Yeah. I've only watched Hamilton once. Yeah. And all the time it's been on Disney Plus. Mostly I think it's because of my kids. Like when we get a night where it's like, hey, we're going to sit down and watch something, we try to do something new. We haven't really been going back to old stuff because with the kids, we watch the same 4 movies over and over again.
Of course. Absolutely. Totally get it.
I finally got them to watch Into the Spider-Verse again. Instead of that, I'm so sick of that Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends show. Yeah, me too. Where did you watch it? Did you watch it on DVD? Or? I have the Blu-ray, so we're watching that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know you're struggling. You've been trying to watch it for a while. So I put it on, and Titus is like, this is the scary one. I don't want to watch it. And I'm like, no, it's not scary. Just watch it. You're going to be fine. And he's great. He's glued. He's glued to the TV on it right now. So
is that what's on now?
Yeah, they're watching it now.
We're recording tonight at dinner time.
Yeah.
We're hoping to play games with some new friends later.
Yeah.
So back to this topic.
Yeah. So Christmas and New Year's went by. You had some free time because you were sick. I had some free time because Christmas time, youth ministry kind of shuts down at our church. I had Titus home.
Of course, everyone goes away.
A lot of people go away, and it was just like crazy. It's been crazy with COVID going back to school. But, we had Titus home. And so,
right.
What are the 2 words that every parent dreads hearing from their kids?
Shnikes. Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks, shnikes. I was hoping you would come up with something because I didn't prep you for that one. So I was hoping you'd come up with something. That is not what I thought you were going to say. No. The answer is I'm bored. I remember growing up, and that was like, my mom hated it when I said I'm bored. Like, if I ever came out on a weekend and said I'm bored, she's like, what are you talking about? There is so much to do right now. And you know what? Now that I'm a parent, I don't remember the last time I was bored. I don't know about you.
I'm bored all the time.
I feel like I haven't been bored in 4 years.
Why?
There's just always something to do.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're not bored.
No, but even in those times, like when I don't want to do anything and I just want to sit and watch TV, like I'm not bored doing that anymore. It's like
no.
This is a break. I'm going to sit down and chill.
Yeah. When I was doing my stay alone stuff, I had to go out. I went to go visit my buddy I got a new grill. And that's a story that I'll probably end up telling later. But so I got a new grill. So it came to my buddy's store. He's a manager for a car dealer. And he has stuff shipped there all the time. So it came there and I had to go pick it up. So I went and I did that. But there was like an afternoon when the girls were napping and I couldn't do anything really. There was nothing to do around the house. Like it was still Christmas time. So I couldn't do anything around the house. And, was quarantining myself.
You have so much background noise.
I know, it's so freaking loud over here, guys. I'm sorry. There was like a bit there where I was bored. But like even today, I did a bunch today, and I'm sitting down, it's like, I'm bored. Like there was stuff I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a chance. But I mean, I don't get bored all the time. And usually, yeah, it's like, okay, great, I don't have to do anything right now.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I was bored. I get the difference, too, of like when I am just sitting down and not doing anything, that feeling of like I should be doing something. Like even if it's not productive, like this is when I should be playing video games. But I just don't want to turn on the computer. I just want to sit here and watch Cobra Kai. Like that was my binge over the break was plowing through Cobra Kai. That ended way too soon.
Man, I got like most of the way through the first season, at least half.
A Cobra Kai?
Yeah, and I just like I was done watching it for the day, so I went away from it and I just never went back. It does not.
It's really dumb.
It's not something that's like you got to finish this.
No, it's really dumb, and it's full of like teenage drama.
Yeah,
which is really dumb. But you know what? Like the fights are cool. It's fun to see Billy Zabka and Ralph Macchio like back at it, and some of this stuff like it's ridiculous how they're just really calling back to the old movies. But it's fun. I really enjoy them.
I was watching the first season, and the only thing I could think was, wow, Daniel-san is a douche now.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's not even that he's mean. Like he's kind of cruel. Like he starts being a dick to Johnny in the car deal. Like, oh yeah, she wasn't really your girlfriend. Yeah. One of those deals. Like, dude, it was in high school.
Shut up.
Dude. Shut up.
Yeah. There's a lot in that first season where it's just like, bro, Johnny's trying to run a successful business here, and you are just ruining his life because of some stupid thing. Like, he's not telling these kids the same thing he was taught. Like, he's changed a little bit. Like, just let him have his business. It's not a big deal. And what I love about it is, like, when they do the tournaments, like, it seems like the only people who feel like Cobra Kai is this evil entity is the Miyagi-Do people. Like, well, and now Johnny. Like,
not Johnny, but
moves away.
I meant Danny.
But is Danny, is now Johnny, like, because they separated. It's a whole thing. But like when they go to the tournaments, everybody's just like, yeah, Cobra Kai, that place is sick, man. It's the coolest dojo in town. My kids are not old enough to be bored yet, which I guess is cool. But sometimes I wish they wouldn't be so good at finding ways to entertain themselves. Like, just enjoy the thing that I've given you to do. Don't go jump off the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's really fun when you throw that ball into the fan and it gets hit and flies across the room.
But it also breaks stuff.
Please don't.
Right.
Okay. So another thing came out over the holidays, and I think you watched it. Me and my wife watched it. Is that 20th anniversary of Harry Potter?
I'm so glad you brought this up. I'm so happy. Because I watched it. Did you watch it? You watched it. We were going to watch it together, but then I watched something else.
We're going to watch it together, but separate. Yeah. We watched it first, I think. It was good. I mean, it was a documentary. It wasn't like, they weren't acting like Harry. They didn't make any new narrative, but it's what I expected.
It wasn't what I expected. Although, it was what I expected, but not what I expected. I don't know if that makes any sense. Not everybody was in it. It was like half reunion show and half documentary, where part of the time they were talking about what they were doing, like the behind the scenes. This is how we got the kids to behave, and then other parts were like, oh my gosh, I was in love with Tom Felton, like for the whole of the fifth movie. I get it. But my kids are being so loud.
And then she turns around and says, "Hey, Ron, remember that time we kissed?
Oh, it was
awful.
It was so that."
And he's just like, "Yeah,
no. That was the best because earlier she said something to him, and he goes, "Oh, that was the worst." It was about kissing, having to kiss, and then later on they revisited it when they were in the Chamber of Secrets in the last movie, and I thought it was great because I always wondered about that. Like they had such good chemistry. in as much as you could expect Ron and Hermione to have chemistry. I don't know. They're not movie perfect, you know? Like, she's the smart one. She goes off to be the minister, and he's, a stay-at-home dad? You know?
I have always been a, Harry and Hermione should have been a thing kind of guy. Watching them talk about it in the special did make me a little more understanding of like, okay, so I see how you were kind of building towards this the whole time.
I see what you're saying. We've had that conversation before, you and me. And I don't agree with you. I don't disagree. Like, I wouldn't have been upset if it was a Harry and Hermione, but I think it was better the way it turned out, and it didn't bother me at all.
So I have 2 questions on this, because we love Harry Potter. Don't ask me what house I'm in. I'm not in a house. I'm a human being. I'm a muggle. I like watching the movies, I like reading the books. I'm not that deep into it. That and my Pottermore email never came. So
that was fun.
So
that was good.
Have you watched any of the movies with your kids yet?
Yes. We've talked about this before on the pod. In fact, we talked about this the last time you and I were together. We play Harry Potter on our garage door every Halloween. That way we don't have to get up for trick-or-treaters. Mabel is a princess, yes.
No, Mabel's a prince.
Well, Mabel's a girl, so that would make her a princess.
Which brings me to my next
If she decides
topic.
she wants to be a prince later on in life, I'll cross that bridge then, and I will take advice from Viking Tower on TikTok. He was pretty good about it. I may even talk to him if that situation comes up in the future, but that's going to come up in the future and not right now. However, on that topic, I have a problem with J.K. Rowling. And my problem is not her necessarily.
Yeah, it's Fantastic Beasts 2, right? Like, that was really
the fact
a
that
problem.
it's called Fantastic Beasts and it has nothing to do with like, there are Fantastic Beasts in it, don't get me wrong. WTF, mate. But that's not my problem either. I get she said some uncool things, and I don't know what they are. And it's not because I just don't pay attention to stuff like that. So I know she said, like, anti-trans stuff, and that's about all I know. Which is a little confusing because I thought, why are you retconning this and making Albus gay after the fact? Like, I thought she would have been a total ally. Like, it makes sense, and I didn't really care one way or the other, but it was weird that like, she came out 5 years after the final book was written, or after the last movie was made, and she's like, oh, by the way, I always thought Albus was gay. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. So I always thought she was totally on board with the LGBTQ community. So it's weird that she said stuff like that, but I don't get it. I don't follow that kind of stuff. So my issue with J.K. Rowling is not necessarily with her, but with the people who are canceling her. And it's not an issue so much as it is a confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because we still...
Paint me a picture here.
We still love Michael Jackson, right? Like Thriller's still a thing, right? It's not just my household that plays Michael Jackson all the time, right?
He's still the king of pop.
Right.
Well, wait, no. Who did he gave that role to Aaron Carter at some point? Did he?
Like he actually said that to him? I think I remember that back in the 90s.
So.
To somebody who never went anywhere after that.
Just he sold more records, or he broke some record of Michael Jackson's. He's like, you could be the Prince of Pop now.
Yeah, I mean,
like that's my Michael Jackson impression.
You know what? It was pretty good. Because let's be real here. I don't pay attention to crap people say online, right? For the most part. So I don't know. I care that she has said some insensitive things about trans people. I don't know what they are. And I am able to say, listen, this book is great. And I think a lot of the Harry Potter fandom has come to this conclusion where we love this book. And these are our stories. Right? The fandom has taken them and like owned them and separated that from the artist who made them. And I'm all good with that. But how come we don't hear the same thing about Michael Jackson? Like, he was never convicted, right? But neither was Jeffrey Epstein. And there's only been stories, but like, that's much worse. I would much rather you have like opinions I disagree with than touch children, you know?
I've heard recently, and it's like really unprepared podcasting that I don't have this in front of me, but I don't. So there was a celebrity who knew Michael Jackson personally that was kind of coming out and saying like, look, he wasn't like that at all. Like, yeah, he was weird, and the media really just took this and twisted it.
Okay.
You know, and we weren't there.
I don't know.
The point was like, no, a lot of things were said, but look, he was just this gentle guy, and yeah, he was kind of weird, and he had a theme park, and he had did he have a monkey or something?
I don't know, but he named his child Blanket, and then he dangled him out the
I only
window.
know that because of South Park.
I know Macaulay Culkin. I keep getting these pop-up like clickbaits about Macaulay Culkin talks about the Neverland Ranch. So I don't know, maybe that's it, but
Did you click on it? It wasn't Macaulay Culkin.
But on the same token, right?
Maybe it was an
same
athlete.
discussion. We have removed the name, the mascot from the Washington football team, and we keep talking about like the Cleveland Indians and the Atlanta Braves, right? And I am a Florida State fan, right? I'm a Florida State Seminole fan, and I understand why they haven't changed their name. The Seminole Tribe of Florida has endorsed them and said, no, we absolutely want Florida State to remain the Seminoles, right? So, cool. How come people in, like, Connecticut haven't been saying anything about it? No? Like, it's just inconsistencies to me. Like, there's been nothing said about it. Like, we got all up in arms about the Redskins. People are going after the Chiefs for the war chant and the chop that started at Florida State. The Atlanta Braves are called the Atlanta Braves, and they do the war chant and the chop that started at Florida State. So how come, like, it's weird that Florida State's like skirting this whole deal, and I get that they're endorsed, but they're just, I don't know. I'm seeing some inconsistencies, and it's bugging me because if you're going to call out one person, I want you to call out everybody that does it, right? And I feel like, as far as Harry Potter is concerned, I love Harry Potter, and I can separate that from the author. I never gave any care for her. I don't care. I thought her reasoning for creating the character was stupid. Like she said, oh, I was on the subway and I saw this boy with glasses, and I thought, oh, wouldn't this whole world be awesome? Right? And I thought, that's not how you came up with it. That's stupid. Right? That's just that story you tell the media. Right? And, you know, maybe it's true.
And she did. I don't know. We don't know. And I think that's part of it, is it's really hard to tell people's intention. It's really hard to tell people's heart. And it's really hard to, it's hard to apply to everybody. There's so much nuance.
Yeah. Nuance on the internet?
This.
No, there's not.
In anything like that. And I don't know. It's like Chick-fil-A, man. Like,
I love Chick-fil-A.
Christian chicken. I love
and I'm
Chick-fil-A.
a Christian. I don't know what they did that was uncool.
Well, so Chick-fil-A, they didn't really ask for it, but it was like people went to the owners and were like, hey, you're Chick-fil-A, you're Christian, so how do you feel about gay people? And like really reached out and asked them, and they were like, well, because we're Christian and we believe this, we believe that homosexuality is a sin. And then it was like, oh, you see these guys, like they're going out and they're supporting all these anti-gay things. Like, you asked them. Like, they didn't want to put that out there. Like, yeah, they're Christian, yeah, they're closed on Sundays, but it's not like, they're not putting Bible verses in your food yet.
They were playing Bible songs over the music.
They take the lyrics out.
They didn't before. It was since I've been married that they took that out.
Yeah, I have that playlist saved, the Chick-fil-A background music playlist, saved on my Spotify, and I use it at church.
Is
sometimes.
That a thing?
Yeah. I don't know if Chick-fil-A made it, but it's just a bunch of instrumental, like, Christian worship music from, like, the early 2000s. And if I have, like, we had a funeral at our church not too long ago.
My gosh.
And I'm like, I need some background music. Here's Chick-fil-A Christian music. Just something to fill the air,
it's good stuff. And when you know the songs, you can sing along to them. So, it's cool. But you got anything else?
Not really. I mean, that is troublesome. And I think if you said it actually in your conversation of like separate the art from the artist. And at what point do we do that? And at what point does that really like does Harry Potter not like trans people too?
Listen,
Do we have to associate that? Or is it just like, you know what? He's in a weird world of wizards and magic?
Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, said whatever it was about his character. So that's how it is. And while I don't inherently agree with that, because at the end of the day, he's the actor and he gets to... He doesn't really get to make decisions for the character. He just portrays the character, right? On the other hand, if he comes out and he says, no, dude, this is what Harry Potter says, and like the director or the author doesn't combat it, like, dude, just own it. Whatever. Like, even if the author combats it, it's like, listen, this is no longer your property. Just let it go. Let it go. This is, don't worry about it. We're going to deal with this as we roll. So
it's going to come and go.
And apparently there was something that Michael Gambon, the second Dumbledore, did to Harry that got him in trouble.
Yeah, he put a fart machine in his sleeping bag for that one scene.
That's hilarious. I don't know about that. But no, apparently he yelled at Harry or Daniel Radcliffe.
No. What you're thinking of, and this is like the reason Michael Gambon didn't want to be on the special, supposedly, is that there's that line in The Goblet of Fire. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And in the book, it says, like Dumbledore said calmly and quietly, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Oh, and they were upset that he yelled at it.
But in the movie, he yelled it.
I see.
And so people have been giving him crap for years. And so he's like, I'm not coming. You guys are just going to make fun of me for that.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that I don't like story book-wise versus movie-wise about him as Dumbledore. But at the end of the day, they left out 5 tasks from the Sorcerer's Stone. Like important storytelling tasks. I guess they weren't really storytelling, but they were big scheme storytelling from the books that they didn't put in the movie. And there's, they took the longest book in the series and they made it the shortest movie. So I don't care. It's movie versus book. So my family is done with dinner and they have been for about 15, 20 minutes, which is why it's now quiet in my background. Yeah. So is that all you got, buddy?
That's all I got.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight on the Dad Shoes podcast. The Dad Group, you don't have to talk to anyone unless you want to. We would love to hear your topics on your thoughts. Man, I almost messed that up in such a beautiful way. We would love to hear your thoughts on today's topics. What do you say when your kids say, I'm bored? How do you feel about Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, Michael Jackson? And most importantly, what's your favorite song from Encanto? You can reach out to us at dadshoespod on Twitter and Instagram, or at dadshoespod@gmail.com.
Bye.